moving slow.
Oh, in the Bible?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Genesis chapter 22.
The
Welcome back.
Welcome back. God bless you. We pray that
We took
this
a week off because errands and all, but we here. We here.
we're
We
just
still
happy. We just
connected.
well, God bless you. I hope this word touches you and that you are blessed and you take away
Yes.
what needs to be taken away. Our heading is Abram's Abraham's faith confirms, and it starts like this. Now it has come to pass that after these things, God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, he said, here I am. Then he said, take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go out to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering, one of you of the mountains, and one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. So Abraham rose early in the morning and saddled his donkey, and two of his young men, and Isaac his son, has split into the wood for a burnt offering, and arose went to the place of which God had told him. Then on the third day Abraham lifted his eyes and saw the place of the altar off. And Abraham said to his young men, stay here with the donkey, the, la- the lad, and I will go yonder and worship. We will be back to you. So Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son, and took the fire in his hand and the knife, and the two went together. But Isaac spoke to Abraham and said, my father. And he said, here I am, my son. Then he said, look, the fire and wood. Where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham said, my son, God will provide himself the lamb for the burnt offering. So the two of them went together. And then they came to a place where God had told them. Abraham built an altar and placed the wood in the altar. And he bound Isaac to his son and laid him on the altar w- upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. He said, here I am. He said, do not lay a hand on your lad or do anything to him. For now the Lord, for now, sorry, for now I know you fear God, since you withheld your son from me, your only son from me. God lifted his eyes and looked, and there was behind him a ram among the thicket of horns. So Abraham went and looked to the ram and offered it up to the burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the place of the Lord will provide. And as of this day, in the mounts of the Lord it shall be provided. Then the angel called out to the Lord of Abraham a second time out to heaven and said, by myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this thing and have not withheld your son, your only son, blessings I will bless you and I will multiply your descendants as the stars in the heaven sand is on the seashore. Your descendants shall possess the gate of their enemies. The seed of all nations, earth shall be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned to the young men and arose and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. The family of Noah, which is also chapter 22, but it's just a different heading. Now it has come to pass after these things, it was told Abraham, indeed, Makah was born to the children of your brother Nor. Hut is born, and Buz is his brother. Kemuel is his father of Aram. Chest, Hazel, Pildash, Pijaheth, and eight of Makah's born to Nor, Abraham's brother. His concubine, who those names was Ramah, and also Tabah, and Gaham, Tadesh, and Makaha.
My goodness. My, you have how many sides? Anyways,
I read all of 22. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
I said, was you gonna speak first? Cause I was touched with this one. What will happen between Abraham and his son?
I highlighted the first part from verse 1. And the reason why I highlighted it, where it said, now come to pass, God had tested Abraham and said, Abraham, he said, here I am. Then he said, take now your son, your only son, whom you love, and go to the land of Moria and offer him as a burnt offering to one of the mountains that I should tell you. How many times in our lives do we have something that precious to us? Even something like our children or someone who doesn't have children. And the Lord wants to see exactly where your faith is. Is your faith in me, or is your faith in just material things that I could do for you?
Amen.
Is your
I
faith,
agree.
do you trust me enough with your, and like at that point I really felt it as a parent, especially from Abraham, because I love my children dearly, and like surrendering my children personally was something hard for me. And I have to remember and like check myself that the Lord could protect my children more than I can. Like,
Yeah.
out of like my apartment can go. I feel like, things happen, but my children is who I really hold dear. Like,
Mhm.
I would, in my head, like, I would go to jail for my children and have no remorse about it. It's a scary thing how parental love is for your children. So for him to be like, I trust you enough that, yeah, I'll do this thing for you. And then I just want to say, and I don't mean this to be funny, but I really want to know in Isaac's mindset how terrified he was. Just like, here I am just following my dad on a casual trip. Like, we just thinking it's like an offering. And now I'm just getting tied up to these sticks. And now being put over a fire ready to get a knife to me. I bet you he was just like, whoa.
Yes,
Oh,
I
and
agree
that
on
was
that.
also like I felt like a testing moment because I feel like how many times have we been in our lives where we're just like, whoa, 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 and you just gotta like let God do His thing. Like sometimes scary things happen, and sometimes it's necessary for those scary things because it shows where our faith stands. And where that really remind me of was in the book of James. That really remind me of when um in the LLT, I could recite it where it says,
James.
yeah, where is it? Let me open it up to you. I could read it word for word. Because when it comes to when it talks about faith, Matthew, James, Romans, Corinthians, I'm not too familiar where James is in the Revelation, Galatians, Romans. I'm gonna find it on my phone. It's a lot more easier. Hold on. Oh, that's not my phone. Da, da, da.
It's on the top of my dresser.
Da, James, J, James, Judges, Jude. James, verse 1.
Yes.
Okay, so it's first here. James, first, for chapter 1, verses 2. I would say verses 2 through 6. Ready? Dear
Yeah.
brothers and sisters, when trouble comes of any kind, consider it a great opportunity for joy. For your faith is being tested, and endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow, for your endurance is fully developed, and you will be perfect and complete and need nothing. That's exactly what it reminded me because he was able to trust the Lord. The Lord provided. If you need wisdom, then ask our generous God. He will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. But then when you ask Him, be sure that your faith is in God alone. Do not waver, for a person is divided in loyalty and is unsettled as a wave of a sea that is blown and tossed by the wind. I felt like that part of James was a very good parallel to Genesis 22. It was like a great way to explain exactly what was going on in a parallel version in the New Testament.
James is after what?
I looked it up in my phone,
I
but
did
I read
too.
James chapter 1 verses 2 through it's James chapter 1 verses 2 through 6. I felt like that was a very good parallel for like where it's talking about Abraham and Isaac. And it's like through our faith, we are blessed. Through our faith is where our anointing is carried. Because he had faith in the Lord, the anointing was then poured out and said, as many as grains of the sand on the seashore, that's how many descendants you have. Hmm. That was my take on that piece. I don't know if anyone else has something to say.
I mean, you did point it out exactly what I was feeling, especially with the part of how he felt with his son, how his son felt. Because you know he, he's just laying there and you see the situation that's going on and you're just
Right.
like, you
You
know,
just gotta really think about it. Do you feel like Isaac right now, or do you feel like Abraham? Do you feel like you're the one who has to surrender something, or do you feel like you're Isaac, where you're just like, I have to trust the Lord that He's just gonna rescue me at this point, and I'm just gonna have to sit and wait for the Lord to step in. So
and
there's
I'm
just like that's what makes you
to
think. Do
me,
you need to surrender, or do you need to wait on the Lord? Now, that's a key
I
point.
some part of me have a feeling like he was trusting the Lord, but in some way he was also praying to God and talking to
Oh,
God.
he was probably paying.
But
He was
he
best
was
believe
God's
praying to the
favorite.
Lord as his dad's coming to his life, like save me, help me. Like, is he really gonna do this? Like, are you really gonna watch him just put a knife to my side? Like, are you good with this? Do you think low key Isaac was traumatized after that? Low key, just a little bit of PTSD, just a little. Every time he and his dad picked up a knife, like, whoa.
How you feel, Joe? You gotta talk into this because you was talking a whole lot too.
Can you imagine coming home from that trip and you're just the mom is like, so how was your trip? Can you imagine that conversation? What
Mm.
that conversation must have been wild at the dinner table.
I agree. Like, you know what
Funny.
happened? Jolie,
Your
Um,
it's your turn. What do you feel about so far?
um, feel as though in the beginning the Lord gave him a command to test his faithfulness in verse 2, but literally in verse 3, it shows that Abraham showed no hesitation. So it literally said, so Abraham rose early in the morning and began to prepare. He prepared everything he needed without hesitation, without questioning. Of course, I could have imagined that he felt such anguish in this moment, whereas though he's just like, I'm just, I can't even imagine why he would ask me to do, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I love my son. Why are you making me, but I'm still gonna do, I don't know. I can't even imagine the, the questions and everything that was going on in his mind. And then not that alone, but in verse 4, it literally breaks down on how, can you imagine what it was a 3 days journey to get to where he needed to get to.
So he was going through mental torture
So
too.
he was going through it mentally, like at any moment it took those 3 days, because at any moment he could have been like, you know what, I'm gonna just turn back around. Forget this. This is too long. But he didn't. He just kept work. He just kept it moving.
That's why it brought me back to James. But go on.
And then you can see, I felt like in verse 4, you can see Abraham's state only by the small sentence where it says that then on the third day Abraham lifted his eyes. So it shows that he could have been in a distraught state where he just felt down and stressed. Whereas though, like, the Lord, he was just walking, was just like, I can't believe it. I can't believe, like, I have to do this. Do I really have to do this? And then all of a sudden, he lifted his eyes, and it was as though the Lord spoke to him, and he was just like, there it is. I want you to go there. And I don't know. Um, let me see. I I see Abraham not only trusting that God is going to take hold of the situation. I'm hoping that's his thought, but it also shows how much Isaac trusted his father to not stop
not,
him.
not stop him or give him a little two piece to like, you ain't better than me.
But exactly my point. He was willing. He literally trusted his father and was willing to be bounded, was willing to lay down and be an offering, even though I don't think he had,
Low
I
key,
don't know.
when I think about this now, just thinking this thought just came out. How old do we think Isaac is at this point?
I think he is literally between the ages of,
I gotta be saying, like, he gotta be like 8 or 9.
no,
To
no.
just
I feel like he's around 18 to 30. I think he's around that age group.
really.
Yes, I think he's in his 30s. That's my point of view. I think in this point he's in his 30s.
Actually, I think you're right because the next two chapters we're gonna understand why. I
You
get
right.
your idea.
You
Yeah,
right.
I see your point.
Mhm.
Because around a certain age is when a certain life event happens. I get it.
Exactly.
I hear
Exactly
you. I
my
hear you.
point. So it
Like if you think about that, like you can't have that life event happen if you're like 8. That ain't happening.
that's my point. And then on top of that, it says on
But
verse
oh
6.
wait, hold up.
What?
If that's the thing, how strong Abraham had to be to hoist this
I was
old man
thinking that
up?
too. I'm like, Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and then laid it on Isaac. So Abraham was just like, I'm too old for this. You hold it. Like
Yo, that's low key gangster. Like you're gonna hold the very thing that's gonna hold you up, okay? Okay. Hold
Wow,
still.
doesn't that kind of remind you of Jesus? You're gonna hold the very thing that you're gonna be sacrificed on.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
That's that's crazy.
And I just said that, and that really just really brought it home for us just there. So now we just have the like another sub layer because first of all, are you willing to surrender? Do you trust the Lord enough that He's gonna see you through? Or do you trust the material things, or do you feel like you trust yourself more? That's where that question comes. Or are you willing to die for it? Are you willing to die for your faith? Because Isaac, realistically, if you think about it, he was willing to die for his faith. Whatever it meant, he was willing to die for your faith. And this day and age, and we're living in the last age and the time of revelations, if something happened to you, are you willing to die for your faith? Are you willing at gunpoint say, and they try to tell you, in order for you to live, you need to renounce Jesus. Will you do it? Will you swaddle it out, or will you save your life, or will you take the bullet and have eternal salvation? And that is a thought that we don't think about because it's not in our face. But if you go to Africa, to our brothers and sisters in Africa, that is something that they deal with every day. Every day. You got pastors being burned alive on trees. People don't talk about that. And the men of the church getting slaughtered. And the children are running, and the women of the church or they're either running or they're being bound and watching their mothers get raped right before their eyes. Terrified. And if there's little girls or like old enough, like girls like our age or like they're 18, they're part of it too. They're sexually assaulted too. And some people's like, why is this happening? And thing, and as painful as it is to inherit, as painful as it is us to watch, it's necessary for Jesus' coming. But the Lord is gonna bless every person who was hurt between now and his coming. They will carry double the blessing because they were in so much pain. So that's how I pray for them. I'm like, Lord, I know they're gonna get double the blessing, but please help them
Mm,
because it hurts me. It still hurts me. I don't want ever someone to be sexually assaulted. That's terrible.
I
But
think.
I said, Lord, just help them.
Let me see. The only other thing that I could think of was, I could be completely wrong, but this is just my opinion. I feel as though Isaac was the depiction of mankind, and whereas though mankind was at a state in which they needed to pay for their own sin. But then Abraham says when Isaac asked him, "Where's the lamb for the burnt offering?"
I was
Right?
just thinking about that when you just said. I was like, he was like, "Where's the lamb? What is
Abraham
What is
says,
Jesus?"
"My son,
That's
God will provide for Himself the lamb for the burnt offering."
and what is Jesus? The sacrificial lamb.
Exactly. Which, even if you, that's why. So if you push forward where Abraham is about to do it, the angel stops him, and then he turns around and he finds a ram caught in a thicket of its horns. So a thicket is literally branches that are full of thorns.
Like the thorns of the. Oh my gosh! So
So it's
this is like a layered lesson. It's partially. I feel like you're right, and then I'm partially right, but we're just bringing it all together. Kind of like what's it called? Like we're wrapping the present. kind of like I got one side, you got one side, but my God, my Jesus.
That was my thought
But
when what
wait.
what
Isn't like goats or lamb at the time when you make an offering, you sacrifice a lamb, but it's the goat and the lamb that is what they release because that's supposed to signify like the
it's a
sin
yes
walking away.
yes the ram is supposed to signify what takes on the sin
Right,
and it
right.
so so that's what that was my thought on that segment of the chapter whereas though
I
after like
literally just saw that like play in my head, like
mhm,
Abraham, like just turning around with the light, turning around with the knife, and
the
going, "Oh, ram."
mm, no. But that's it. I think Isaac is just a depiction of us as mankind. And instead of mankind having to pay for their own sin, God gave us Jesus to
Mm-hmm.
be the offering,
Yeah.
aka the ram that was
Are you
stuck in the thicket of
right? And that really said, are you willing to? And that's the main questions you ask yourself. Where are you aligned? Are you willing to die for your faith? Are you willing to crucify yourself and your own comforts for the Lord?
Or were you willing to give up your only son?
Are you willing to give up things that are precious to you? And those precious things don't have to be children. It could be as simple as a cell phone, smoking cigarettes,
Your house, your
drinking,
job, your
your
whatever
job.
it is
It could
that you
be even the
depend
little
on.
things, the things that you just think they're every day that are harmless. It's those. I watched this video that it's the harmless things is what gets you, not the big things that are like on billboards because you're more aware of that. But it's the microscopic things, the little things that go under. That's the part you have to be aware of.
all right, and then just to add to the second segment, because I want to have an understanding. All right, so Milcah and Nahor, that's his brother and sister, right? Like Abraham's brother and sister. I think
I
it.
would believe it's his, because
I know
he has.
Nahor is his brother.
But here's the thing. This is my thought process. Is this nor this is his brother? He is the brother that he left behind. That was my only question.
Yeah, I believe yes,
Because
yes.
I was just like, okay, he didn't take his brother, so they're telling me of the family
Should
tree
I
of
go
his
back and
brother
look?
left behind. Because he didn't take his brother, but he took his nephew. He took Lot.
He did. Wait, hold on.
So that's why I said because the family name always comes to pass after these things.
So yes, Nahor is Abraham's younger brother.
Okay, so he's the last born. He's the baby. Oh, we got some really bad echo.
What was that?
Ah,
Manning, what you did? I don't know what that was. Okay, so I'm
so
assuming Milcah is his also his sister, the Nahor's sister wife.
okay. So now it's come to pass and see that Micah is the born of his children of your brother Noah. So Hutz is the firstborn. Buzz comes next, his brother. So this is a family tree.
Yes, but I think it's just a breakdown so that we can
Oh,
know where Rebecca came from.
exactly, because it really just said that Bethel begot Rebecca, which is like a to set up. I don't want to say it, but I don't
Don't
want to
say
say
it.
it. Is he laughing? No, because Rebecca sets up later in life for Isaac. Because you basically a woman can't just pop out of nowhere, but
Hmm
it's setting up the stage.
Yes.
That's the best way to say it. I'm not gonna say it more, but the Lord is setting up the stage by giving us this family tree to help us understand where
Yes.
did this
But
random woman
I
come
want to
from.
know. It says, and Bethuel begot Rebekah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother, his concubine. Whose concubine? Nahor's or Abraham?
No, because it says Norma, Abraham's brother, his
His
concubine.
concubine. And
So I
then,
think if that's the complete sentence, Abraham's brother's concubine. Kind of like if you were to like swap the sentence, like in your retrospect, it could be like,
oh, okay, so it's talking about Nahor.
yeah. So it's like
Trump was
it's kind
concubine.
of like
It's a side
Jolie's.
chick.
It's like Jolie's sister's husband. It's the same concept. Jolie's. It's the you know how Puerto Ricans. It's so and so, so and so, so and so's.
What?
No, my
Oh,
thing was, all right, so Abraham's brother had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 side chicks.
Yes, but I'm just saying is it's the same concept of so and so belongs to
this
so and
is
so.
God had 5 subjects.
You know that Patrick was live and his whole boob was.
Patrick is just like, wait, what? Five side chick. This is
Yeah,
the thing.
Abraham's brother had one wife
Like,
named
like,
Milcah.
like Brittany
Okay,
said, the hood way of treating.
so I'm gonna be honest. Back in the days, Patrick, there was a lot of polygamous relationships.
Yes, like it's brothers, like sister's wife,
Sister
sister
wives,
wife,
cousin wives.
Well,
cousin
this is
wife,
because there was such a small
brother,
population.
everything. But yes, it's sister wives, brother wife, sister's wife, cousin wives. But these are back in the days. This is how life started to multiply to be able to make it to where we are now.
Because after
We
Noah,
basically
there was
sisters
not
and
a
brothers.
lot of people.
Why you think we was having that conversation, me, you, and Brittany, where we were laughing and we were like, technically, you're my brother and I'm just your wife. And we started cracking up because we were like, we come down the board like we from this, we are from this tree. Genesis, it speaks about Adam and Eve, and it starts from there.
Yep.
So
So
all
technically,
these
Marty and
people,
Jolia, we're really sisters.
all of us are really
We
sisters.
all
We're like, I'm gonna be
related.
honest, like we are
We're
truly
related.
brothers and sisters. It's just the blood is just a little more distant, but we are truly related.
Mm-hmm. It grew thicker. There was
Yeah, we are truly related. It's just the blood gene is a little diluted. That's just about it.
mm-hmm.
She's just shaking her head like I don't know how we got here. My thing is, what I noticed here was, and I'm gonna just point this out, and this is just me. I have noticed one thing about the Bible. I've only witnessed in the Bible mainly two relationships that are monogamous. All the other ones I felt like are all plural with concubines.
What do
Abraham,
you?
Huh?
is Abraham being one of them?
Abraham being one of them because he was. I don't really. Okay, forgive me. This sounds really wrong. I don't really count Hagar as a concubine for the reason because that was a forced situation. It wasn't really of his choice.
Well, they got married, so she wasn't considered his concubine. She was considered his wife.
Yeah,
He had
second
2
wife.
wives.
But if it was really up to him, he would have just would have been fine with Sarai. He would have waited. He would have been chilling. But that was a really forced situation, Loki.
So technically, his relationship wasn't monogamous.
But Isaac's was.
Yes, that is correct.
Isaac really was monogamous. He didn't really see a reason to have anybody else. That's part of the reason why he didn't really have much trouble in his marriage area. He don't gotta please all these. He said, "More women, more problems. I'm gonna stick to one woman, one problem."
Smart.
It's smart, right? He's the
Smart,
most
yeah.
intelligent man. Don't be like Solomon and David, who have 8 wives or 700 wives and have 700 problems.
No, he had five. Was this? What didn't he have 500 wives and then 300
No,
concubines
it's
Yes.
considered 1,000 women. He had 700 wives and
and
300
300
concubines.
concubines?
A
That's a
majority of them
lot.
are noble lineage apprentices from different lands. He had a thing for exotic women.
Well, that literally, well, that's going into that, but that literally demonstrates how if one person has a problem with a specific spirit in their generation, then it gets passed on. So David had an issue with lust, and it literally got passed on to Solomon.
Right. Once a womanizer teaches a womanizer, so then we breed more womanizers. But see, but it also could be positive because Abraham taught faith and what a man of God's supposed to stand by. So that's where Isaac gets his like fallback on and his thought process and his family life. So your influences could be good as a parental figure or bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like what kind of parent you want to be. Do you want to give your kids like lessons to fall back on, or do you want them to be like in a therapy office trying to unpack all the crap that they've been through? I vote Plan A, but we never knew. No, we might mess up a couple screws.